Yuletide is approaching, and this is a list of the top 3 books you really must read before Yule arrives. Hi everybody, and welcome to yet another video, and welcome to this very special night, as of making of this video, of course, because it is Krampusnacht. Oh yeah, the Krampus night. Gruß vom Krampus, my dear friends. I don't know what about overseas right there, but here in Europe, especially in Central Europe, we still do enjoy the Krampusnacht, which apparently has roots in pre-Christian times, as most Christian holidays and contemporary holidays, actually. And but in its modern form, dating back a couple of centuries back, he is accompanying Saint Nicholas on the eve of the 5th to 6th of December, and punishes the naughty children, whereas Saint Nicholas is giving them presents and gifts and sweeties. And because this is a fantasy-oriented channel, I always like to celebrate the Yuletide by reading and, well, really rereading my favorite Yuletide books. And so I should like to, as every year, to share them with you as little recommendations if you didn't know what to enjoy, what to read leading up to Yule. Alright then, so first and foremost, and I've got 3 recommendations, there are more of them, and should you wish me to make a part number 2, just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be more than glad to do it for you. So what I like to reread each and every single year, my dear friends, the top 3 are these. First and foremost, of course, and quite obviously, J.R.R. Tolkien's Letters from Father Christmas, which is a very beautiful combination of that which you could very simplistically consider to be Tolkienian, and something very much different from what you would consider to be his fantasy canon, such as, you know, of course, The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and The Silmarillion, by, of course, posthumously published by his son Christopher. And to that extent, it is also a fact about the Letters of Father Christmas, which was published, I think, by his daughter Priscilla after his demise. And it is exactly what you think it is. I think that most of my subscribers have read the book, but if you haven't, it basically traces the adventures of Father Christmas and his friend Polar Bear and other creatures up there in the North Pole, including elves and goblins. And Tolkien did it in very romantic, very old-fashioned kind of way that I will cherish until the day I die. And so if you watch any documentary or read any biography about Tolkien, you will get to know that he wrote this book in the form of letters that he was sending to, well, himself and his own children, as if they came from Father Christmas himself. And so he paid the postman to leave the letters with the normal, ordinary mail, so that the children can find it and discover it and read those letters. And he, of course, illustrated all of them beautifully. And so the collected edition that we have got nowadays, and it came out in multiple editions, in paperbacks and hardbacks and collector's editions, they are beautifully illustrated by the author himself. So this book, while being, of course, a Yuletide book, does not necessarily need to be just for, you know, a Yuletime reading, but you can read it all around the year, and of course add it to your Tolkien collection, to your Tolkien shelf. I am, of course, a proud owner of a hardback, and I do love to reread it each and every single year. The next book that I like to point out is probably my favorite Yuletide book of all time. And even though I love the Letters from Father Christmas, written by Tolkien, I have to say that Hogfather by Sir Terry Pratchett is something I hold very close to my heart. Not only because it is one of my favorite Terry Pratchett's books, and definitely my very favorite Yuletide book, but it is, and was, one of the first books written by Sir Terry Pratchett that I read in my entire life. So very brief description, if you haven't read it. You know, I think, most of you, that Terry Pratchett's Discworld series, those stories are set in a secondary world of Terry Pratchett's own device, and that is the Discworld, a flat earth that is being carried by 4 elephants, and those 4 elephants are being carried by a space turtle that is floating through space. And so the world itself is, I have always described it as a parody of our world. So Terry Pratchett's world, Terry Pratchett's secondary world, his fantasy, fictitious world, is a mirror image of our primary world, our reality, but in a twisted and very, very, very funny way. Once again, I would describe it as a parody. And one more very specific thing about Terry Pratchett's books, and that includes Hogfather, is his books are the only written word put in prose or poetry that has ever been able to make me laugh out loud multiple times for a considerable length of time while reading. Now, of course, films can make me laugh, people can make me laugh, situations can make me laugh, but although amused or made happy, cheerful, I rarely ever laugh out loud when reading a book. I always laugh out loud when reading Terry Pratchett's book. So, the Hogfather is about, well, obviously the Hogfather, which is Father Christmas in the Discworld, and he's gone missing. And there has to be a substitute Hogfather, who turns out to be the Death, the character of Death. And by the way, the character of Death, written by Terry Pratchett, is one of the most hilarious characters you could ever imagine. This is what I do recommend 100% for your Yuletide read. And in the end, I have been contemplating a long time what to put on the 3rd place. I have got many books in my mind, but I think that I will have to go with A Christmas Carol. Yeah, I mean, it's a classic. It's a canon. It's in a canon of British literature. I was contemplating adding the Icelandic Yule lads. I was thinking about adding some graphic novels, which there are a plethora of them that would be appropriate here. But I think that choosing and picking 3 classics from 3 very different time periods would be just the thing to recommend to you. And I don't think I have to say anything else, anything more about The Christmas Carol. Everybody knows the story. Just, I think that it would be appropriate for everybody who enjoys the story to enjoy it in its original form, as written by Charles Dickens. Alright then, so let me know in the comments down below if you want me to make part 2, and venture into some more obscure or less known books, or if you're okay with this. And also, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite Yuletide reads are, and that'll be all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm out of here.